Let me unmute my mic real quick, guys. Welcome in to the Husker Gutter call-in show, where we call in and we talk about whatever you want to talk about. And boy, has it been a week. We got Husker volleyball going on right now. Brian, what's the update on the volleyball game?
They were up. They just won set 2, 25-18, I believe. They lost set 1.
Set 1. Odd. Yeah, it is odd. Call me when they get a real O-line and a real D-line. Hasn't happened in almost 30 years. Craig, can't come out with that negativity, bro. Craig, call in and talk about it. Let me drop the link here for y'all. If you want to call in and talk about it, that's what this show is for. There we go. It's a call on show. Yeah, exactly. You call. Yeah, exactly, Craig. Tee-hee-hee, the season will unfold and prove you an idiot. Well, your English proves you an idiot. Can't say until they play a quality team. This could be the best Nebraska team in a decade, perhaps more. I would love for that to be true.
That'd be nice.
I mean, looking back at the decade, 2016 is really the biggest team that we got to compete with. And what was that, 9-3? Last time we had a plus turnover differential was 2016. So I'd say it's fair enough. But Craig, if you got the nuts, go ahead and call in, buddy.
Set the mic.
What happened? Yeah, it was Mike Riley. That was Tommy Armstrong, Mike Riley. And your internet is terrible right now, BT Dubs.
My Wi-Fi sucks right now.
Yeah, it's bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, there's only one internet provider in this.
Yeah, it's really rough right now. Really rough right now. All right, if anybody wants to call in, there is the link for you to do that. The 2016 team got every lucky bounce. You know, was the 2016 team was the one that was, who did we lose to that year? Because that the year we lost to. No, because I'm thinking of Wisconsin, like 2018. Pull up our schedule. Because I don't think it's a coincidence. But I'm going to go to some PFF numbers here about last week's game. And I know, Brian, I know you had a little bit of that too. So let's go. Let me just go ahead and dive into those, and then we'll just kind of get into a little bit here. So when you were looking through the PFF numbers, Brian, if you recall off the top of your head, what was kind of your biggest takeaway or biggest surprise?
My biggest takeaway, I'm actually pulling it up right now. Just to backtrack, 2016, we lost to Wisconsin. We lost to Ohio State.
It was Wisconsin. So I did have the right year. That's what I thought. Okay, cool. Because 2016 was the year that we played Ohio State on the road and got our doors blown off. And then the next week we lost to Wisconsin in overtime, I believe, right?
Got it flipped. We lost to Wisconsin in overtime. Then we got beat by 60 against Ohio State.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did have those backwards. Okay. Yeah, because that I remember. Go ahead.
That year, we actually had 2 games in which we lost. 2 of our 3 losses were by over 30 points.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that Ohio State. That was the game that Tommy Armstrong got like knocked unconscious, like on the sideline. Yeah. And like
then we came back.
Pick very early. Bone Lead.
Yes. Hello, gentlemen.
Bone Lead, what's going on, my friend? How we doing today?
How are you?
Well, not much. I am a big person, but not only that, but believer in tackles for losses instead of sacks. And the reason is if you're trying to sack a quarterback, they can throw the ball away, overthrow it, throw it out of bounds, whatever. But a tackle for loss, what is that ball carrier going to pitch the ball to somebody? And cause a potential fumble, so I would rather have them get tackles for losses instead of sacks, to be honest with you.
Technically, I mean, both one leads to the other, the pressure and leads to the TFLs, which leads to the sacks. So they kind of work in unison, but I think I get what your point is you're kind of just, you want backfield disruption more than you just want to focus on like pressure on the quarterback. You want a defensive line that's going to wreak havoc into their backfield and cause problems all over, not just for the quarterback.
Yeah, because the thing is like, let's say you have first down, you blitz the quarterback, and he throws it away. Well, second down is still 2nd and 10. But if you get a tackle for loss on first down, then it becomes 2nd and 10 plus. Okay. So see, there's the difference. Okay, which in turn then changes the other team's play calling potentially, you would think. Okay.
Yep.
And so on and so forth. But having, a quarterback that's able to just throw it away, or throw it out of bounds to avoid the sack, I'd like to see that rule change, that if you do something like that, there should be some kind of, better than the current system where you could throw it away, and if somebody's within 100 yards, it seems like, that it's not declared grounding or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I will
go ahead.
I was gonna say I admit I agree with you there. Like, I can't remember which game I was watching, but they said that there was a guy in the area and he was 10 yards ahead of the play with his back turned to the ball, and I was like, come on, there's nobody in the area. It drives me nuts.
It's hard because there's no there's no writing on what's considered in the area, so it's just totally up to subjectivity, just like everything else with the officials, and that leaves room for each crew is going to make their own determination on it, and that's where I think things get hairy. Is just that's the problem with officiating. It's just so subjective, and you got a guy who they're like, oh, he ran the wrong route and accidentally ran upfield instead of cutting it inside. Oh, well, he was in the area. No, he was supposed to be in the area, but he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But then they'll try to use that as oh, well, we think he was going to throw. We were expecting him to cut in, so he wasn't trying to do it because he was going to get sacked. So then they start thinking about it too much, and that's where I think they get screwed up on it.
Yeah. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I mean, the tackles for losses, those are going to occur on maybe short passes or runs, but there are going to be times when they're going to throw it as well. So on the times that they throw it, there's really going to be nothing you can do, to get a tackle for loss other than hopefully get a sack or bat the ball down or tackle on the spot, or maybe a potential turnover, but
I think the biggest thing so far, with the pass rush, there was 20 total pressures, 2 sacks, 15 hurries in 2 games. So it's a steady, fairly steady disruption, but not sack happy. And I think a lot of the sack numbers, because week 1 we did go against a quarterback that it's more about containing than sacking. So they're forcing quick throws more than they're finishing. And one thing that is an improvement though, is the tackling is improved. The missed tackle rate is acceptable. It's much better than last year's. But to your point, hitting the running back and stopping them before they hit the second, third level is going to be the biggest part of keeping this keeping the deep, because the problem is last year, like you mentioned before, keeping them behind the chains, is teams would nickel and dime us to an extent, and we didn't have the offense to then nickel and dime them back. And that's why over the course of the game is 2023 and 2024, wonder why we wore out. And that's why. So now we're getting a little bit more. The tackling is better, which is going to help long term. But I think more so than the previous 2 years, we've definitely seen a commitment to aggression. And I think that's their goals. They're just trying to get teams backed up off first and second down.
You see, my only concern that I would have, I know I play a lot of online games, but, I know it's not the same, but this is what I would do if I was going against Nebraska and they were showing me so much blitz. I would have my quarterback in shotgun. Okay. Because what that then does is it forces your guys, then they have to run farther to get the sack. And then it's going to open up more passing lanes for you because they're going to come up to make more sacks. You can do more short passing lanes. Well, so with that being said, there's the downside to it. But then that's when you figure out, well, if they're going to do that, you show blitz and then don't blitz.
The counter, The only thing about shotgun is the counter to that is when you're in a heavy formation and heavy set, teams typically will bring bigger players and a bigger defensive set out there. And then also they will bring them closer to the line, stack the box. So you do have more opportunities to break something over their heads and stuff like that. And that's where a lot of what we see is it turns into just the play action, that combination of the two and just juggling that play action. But like for instance, when teams run shotgun on 4th and 1, I can't stand it.
Maybe
Tries-
because you're 1 yard away. Why would you be 7 or 8 yards away from, the center? You're trying to basically make a first down to get 1 yard. Well, that's stupid. But then again, we were down there a couple times against Akron, and a couple times against Cincinnati, where we couldn't get 1 yard from the goal line. And I understand there's lots of bodies in there, lots of contact, lots of weight, lots of pushing. I get that, and see, and that comes into into play as well. So it's so, but if you were 7 or 8 yards behind your center, I don't know. Maybe somehow that's better. I mean, I don't see how, but
the
one
advantage it does give you is if you can get some blocking, it gives you an opportunity for your blocking to set up, and it also gives you an opportunity to get a little bit of a running start. But the only downside is kind of like we talked about, it gives the defense a chance to get home. What happened at the goal line the other day, and I still think this was a product of just kind of poor execution on the goal line and just the running, the way we ran the ball. Again, I just think if instead of jumping over, I think if Ives just puts his head down and kind of just plows through there, I think he gets a touchdown. And then of course the fourth down got stopped because Harburg he didn't find the crease. He went high and tried to go over because he's so tall and used to going over. But the way that QB sneak was designed, he needed to go down and through. And once he got his pad level high, then he lost all leverage, and then they were just able to drive him back. So I think it's too just knowing situationally how to run. And I think that's something they'll look at the film and work on. But for the most part, what I wanted to see improved was the play calling down there, and that is night and day compared to what it was. Last year.
No question. All over the field it is. I mean, it's not, not just sporadic. And I noticed against Akron, we tend to get open a lot more. But I think Cincinnati's defense is a lot better than Akron. So, it was going to be hard for us to get open, as much, against Cincinnati. And give Cincinnati credit. They had a hell of a run scheme and, and everything in place there. I mean, so that wasn't going to be easy to stop them, but I was hoping it was. That's why I predicted the score I predicted. But as it went on, it was like, God, man, that's a good scheme. It's like,
It was they were getting to their spots, and they were just a little bit. I mean, they knew the game plan they wanted to execute, and they came in. They did it. They did a good job of it. And
they got don't they have like 3 possibly potential NFL players? That one Cornelio or whatever.
Corleone.
And then maybe 2 others.
I mean, they got a couple. But Corleone for sure. Because I think he's 3-time conference player of the year. Like he's a stud.
He could be.
They have a couple guys. I mean, they're talented. Don't get it twisted. They are talented. Nebraska left a lot of points on the field too, and it was just a lot of and again, they didn't really pass the ball well, so they didn't fully execute well. The problem in Lied was just the QB run. Without the QB run, I don't think they have as much success running the ball.
Well, that's true. That's true. And how much did Akron do that? Akron hardly ever did that. See,
well, because that set up the running backs. And my point on that is if the QB isn't running for 60 yards, I think it was 5 scrambles for 60 yards, then the running game isn't as prolific and proficient. So I think really we can point to that and just be like our inability to contain him, and that being probably the best running quarterback we're going to face this year. I think that gives me some positives. But at the end of the day, when we had Michael Rose-Ivy on, Brian, if you can kind of remember, even though he said it was scheme, he agreed it was scheme. He's like, you can improve scheme, yes, but like it's going to take the players to still have to step up and figure out that deficiency is what it kind of sounded like when I asked that question.
Yeah, they still have to execute 100%.
Yeah.
He did mention too, Houston Christian tomorrow, very similar
zone scheme,
very similar offensive scheme. Yeah. And that's going to be a primer for next week when you're 100%. Playing Michigan, who can have a very similar run scheme. So
outside zone, a lot of outside zone coming up.
Yeah. And looking at this game tomorrow, when it was just when we were in like the back room talking with Michael Rose-Ivy, he mentioned like this team's probably better than Akron. They're an FCS team.
Yes.
They're going to be a little bit more of a test for Nebraska early.
Agreed. Yeah, he thinks that it's going to be a little bit more of a game throughout the first quarter, and then Nebraska pull away.
Well,
we'll take it over,
I want to know what you guys think. When I noticed that Rule gave that halftime pep talk or whatever you want to call it,
love it.
That they came out and they responded.
Do
you think he should do that like more often? Like at the end of every quarter, or what?
I don't. I think that's the culture in the building. I don't think that's the players hear that not constantly. I guarantee you, what we heard there is just a snippet of what they hear. That is the culture in that locker room, and that's when people were talking to me. It's funny because like people hear Matt Rule say that we're up 33-0, but then they hear me make some of the same criticisms, after the Cincinnati game. They think I'm being negative. It's like, no, that's the standard he set for this program. That's the standard. That's the baseline of the standard that we have. This is no longer mediocrity, right? So we don't want to accept mediocrity. The baseline is raised, and that's what we saw there, up 33-0. If any of us said anything negative at halftime, up 33-0, everybody would have been like, well, it's so negative, like, and all this other stuff. But Matt Rule's over there saying it's not good enough. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, let's go. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it should be. The fan base should like know that like that's this team, and we should be the same way. We should hold this team that same standard.
See, I said this team is special, and I don't mean short bus special, I'm going to clarify that because there's some people that will go there. Okay. But I mean, they're special as in when Coach Rule asked them after the Akron game, he said, just imagine it's wintertime in Lincoln. You're playing a good TCU team in the playoffs. Okay. And you played just like you did against Akron. Is that championship football? And they all said no. Okay. So they all know that it's not.
Because they left points on the board.
That's right. See, and that's the difference that we've not had in I don't know how many years, but it's been a while.
But that's part of what he's been building, and that's kind of what we talked about a lot, and everybody's talking about year three Matt Rule, but what does that mean? And that's what that means. When everybody was talking about year three Matt Rule, it's not this mythical thing that just a switch flips in year three. That excellence, that standard of excellence, is the reason why he wasn't able to come out in 2023 and 2024 and say, yeah, this team looks good. We feel great about this team. That's the standard he's been perpetuating that building since he got there. And it's still not to the level he wants it to be, but that's why it's going to work. And I think that was just a taste of what those players have just been hearing their entire tenure there. And that's how you look at Nick Saban. Nick Saban, you see videos of Nick Saban back in the day, they'd be up 70-0. If they gave up a field goal at the end of that game, they are getting chewed out after that game. Chewed out. He was never happy. Saban was never happy. Yeah. That man was upset every time. So
it's about the process.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The end result is relevant in their minds. That's the way these coaches operate. It's like he said, he was like, it's 33-0. Like, that's what the score is supposed to be. So why are you in here celebrating? Like, go out there and beat their ass some more. We'll get these young guys in.
Yeah. And take it and be like, okay, well, we were supposed to do that. Don't be excited about that win. Get ready for
it. Did the bare minimum.
Yeah. And another thing that I like is I heard Matt Rule said that he had went in to the locker room to, after the game or something, or home or whatever, and had started watching the UNC game against somebody. Well, anyways, he never said anything to anybody. Well, Coach Holgerson went up to him and said, "Coach, you're not talking. Are you mad or something?" And he says, "No." He says, "I've never beaten anyone 68-0 before, and I don't know how to act." You know, so see, having Coach Holgerson, you know, and not just him, I'm sure other coaches probably would have eventually done it, but to have a coach, you know, one of your assistants come up and be able to have that good rapport with them, you know, I mean, did we have that before? I mean, did we, you know, how many other of them would have went up to Matt and said, you know, what's wrong, coach?
I think,
you know, I mean, I'm kind of glad Hugo's there. I mean, he's able to do that, you know.
I think it's less so the success. I mean, Matt Rhule's going to hire people that he has good relationships with because he is so trying to be so hands off with the offensive defense. He wants people.
Oh, you froze up. I froze up there.
Holgerson and the players, stuff like that, as opposed to Holgerson and the coaching staff. I think that's been the biggest difference here is that kind of change. But I think Matt Rhule is sure, like, not to get yes men in there. You know, you think of what him removing Satterfield from play calling duties. That's his best friend. You know, him and Satterfield go way back, right? And so the fact that he was removed him from play calling duties and put Holgerson in that position just shows that, you know, relationships are important, but winning is more important. He's going to get the guys in the right spot. And I think that's why they feel confident coming to him in any way, because he knows that's how they are. And that's what he wants them to be themselves. He wants them to bring things to him. Because Matt Rhule will admit he can learn anything from any of these coaches too. Like, they know stuff he doesn't, and vice versa. So.
Yeah, and I just wanted to conclude with this. Just those things right there, those are the main differences since Rhule has taken over. And to me, that is winning football. You know, it's a winning culture. And, you know, we're going to do very good this year. You know, I'm still going to stick by what I said. We're still going to do very good this year. So with that being said, I enjoy your guys' show. I'm gonna leave, and you know, have a good evening, gentlemen.
You're the man. Thank you for calling in, Bone Led.
You bet.
Appreciate you. All right, always a good time talking to him, man.
He's always got like a loaded question.
Yeah, I know. It's fun.
I
like it.
You asked me earlier too what stood out about the PFF scores from the game.
Hold on, read this.
And then you mentioned
read this first. Wish them the best of luck. It's no longer college ball. It's just semi-pro. Buy the best with the most and a bunch. Bro, this English. A bunch of goofy bastard talking about how good things could be, but what never will. Craig,
get your negative ass out of here. Then,
Craig, I think you need therapy, bro. I think you need a hug from your mom, bro. Shut the hell up, bro. Shut the fuck up.
I just worked for fucking 12 hours.
Craig, shut up. Nobody wants to hear you. Shut the fuck up. We will tell you that on the show. What up, Justin? Brian in the chat. Just got my new Husker hat from the bookstore. Can't wait to sport it. UCLA game. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you, David.
I am trying to go to that game as well, David. So
which one? The UCLA game?
Yeah, that's around. It's like between me and my dad's birthday, so he can fly down to Austin, and then we'll fly over to California.
The other day, coming in, DraftKings finally put out a line minus 42.5. What was the Akron spread? 34. 34.
It's 34.5, and they doubled it basically.
42.5.
That's a little surprising, actually. I think that's a big spread.
I feel like I was thinking somewhere in the 38-40 range, but also I'm terrible at predicting lines, so I'm usually way off. So there's that.
I don't know. I wonder what the largest spread for a Nebraska game ever. I'm going to Google that.
I don't know. For as long as they've been doing spreads, I don't know how long we've been good that long. Call-in link is there. Diving through some of the PFF numbers here, just some of the stuff that I was looking through. Now, talking about where was it at? Did you take a look at the blocking, by the way? So Pass Pro, the tops in Pass Pro, Rocco Spindler is 80.7, Prohaska 79.4, Sledge 79.2 over the first 2 weeks. Only 3 sacks allowed in 2 games. Carter Nelson, 84.3 run blocking. Harburg, 82. Lindenmeyer, 81.9. So,
Did
and
you
the
see
run,
tackling grades?
O-line grades are inconsistent on the running. I think I have the total as 13% for the team missed tackle rate.
Oh, do you know what the national average would be?
No.
But I was looking at like their tackling grades from last week, and all but one player that played and recorded a tackle had a 70 or higher on PFF tackling. The lowest was Sua Lafotu at 27.6, and he played 10 snaps, so you don't even get a good enough volume to judge. Like one missed tackle on 10 snaps would put you at a 27.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the whole defense, everyone that played, scored a 70 or higher.
That's beautiful. Tackling. That's beautiful. Can you back out and come back in?
Mm-hmm.
And then looking at, let's see, the problem with the run blocking is our O-line. It's non-O-line guys leading the way there. So inconsistent with the starters in the run blocking. Let's move Brian's back in. Hold up. The other day we'll call him, but he's at a dinner event. Enjoy your dinner, man. Appreciate you. He says we'll cover, though. I tend to agree. One thing too, looking at the run game, we're having a lot of success on the edges, not up the middle. So we're averaging 7.9 yards per carry to the left edge, 6.4 yards per carry to the right edge, and less than 3 yards per carry up the middle. So and our scheme is kind of split up, 47 zone runs versus 15 gaps. So we kind of are right now a zone team with selective kind of counters. But the tight ends are giving our running game a lot of success. That's what that shows me. Tight end blocking plus the running back vision is what's giving us a lot of success in the run game, as opposed to the O-line just dominating.
Are you surprised by Harburg's rather consistent run blocking this early in this position change for him?
Not any knock on his, but just because, like, to an extent, he was in the tight end room before, of course, in 2023. Mm-hmm. But still, like, you got guys who played tight end position their whole lives who struggle with that aspect of it. I don't doubt his work ethic, so I wasn't surprised that he's really good, but I thought it would take him some time to just kind of get gelling there. But he has been he has stepped up, to put it lightly.
His kick out block on Emmett's touchdown run, the 47-yarder. I mean, it wasn't like a big violent block, but he was pulling across underneath the offensive line and kicked out that. I think it was a defensive end, maybe it was an edge, but good block, fundamental block, got right underneath pads, big hole for Emmett to run through.
We run that a lot. We bring that player across and they kind of crack back block and open up a cutback lane or open up that lane for them to get through. So it's been beautiful though. Because sometimes, like a lot of times last year, our tight ends, we had some missed blocks by our tight ends that would have led to touchdowns. Indiana was one of them, but he ended up getting it back. But there was a lot of instances like that throughout the season where they would come across and they just wouldn't be able to lay that block. For some reason, it was when they'd come across the formation. I don't know what it was, but they were just having a hard time staying in front of that guy. And now it just seems like,
in particular,
I feel like they're slowing. I feel like it's slowed down for them a little bit. I feel like the game is slowed down. It's not, they're not as rushing as much. And I feel like a lot of times when that player, the H-back or the receiver, whichever it was coming across, they would rush that block. And I think that's where it was almost like there was like an anxiety going into the block. And now I feel like they're just letting the play happen and letting it flow and letting it fall into place like it's supposed to. And I think that's where the timing of the plays is really kind of helping spring a lot of these too.
Yeah. I mean, you can always look at every big run, and perimeter blocking by the tight end is always going to be so prevalent in a big time run. It's getting through that first level is not necessarily overly complicated in the grand scheme of football, but getting past that is always where, it makes a big difference. Last year, you get a lot of guys out on the edge, and then the wide receivers are missing a block. Now they're not. I mean, I'm looking at the PFF scores right now. I mean, run blocking grade 62, 60, 61, 60.2. That's 4 of your top receivers are over 60.
Yep. And then Akron. Not only that, you have a running back with excellent vision. I think that's one of the biggest things. Not only that, you have a running back that can make the first man miss nearly every time. Emmett Johnson can. Come on, camera.
Only sports.
Yeah, that's definitely not me. I just get a random avatar picture apparently every time I'm on here. But yeah. So, are you frozen? I think you are frozen. We've lost Brian. Either that or we lost me. Are you back? There you are. You are back.
Yep.
Okay.
I got to move my router. My house is a clusterfuck right now with boxes.
You got to remove those walls. They're blocking your router.
I could open the door, but then you hear my kids.
Looking at moving over the defensive side of the ball. Defense, I think the biggest thing is of course, graded out way better in coverage than a run fits. Corners and safeties are making some plays. Fronts just the plugging up the gaps, but we've kind of gone through what caused that. But looking at standouts in coverage, Shavers, Rhett, Jameer Khan, corners are kind of locking down 51.2%. I don't know if you saw that completion percentage, but the opponents are completing 51.2% against Nebraska, 5.8 yards per tip and 117 yards per game through the air.
Wow.
Yeah.
Call me crazy, but I did not expect Jameer Khan to lead the secondary in snaps against Akron, but also post the highest coverage score, the third or fourth highest tackling score, and the highest overall.
Yep. He's been fantastic. Yeah. 83 coverage grade has him third on the team, just barely behind Justin Rhett and Vincent Shavers, who's a linebacker. So if we're talking just DBs, going over to run, but this is the best. How long has it been since we felt this good about a cornerback room, honestly?
Well, it's crazy is in the offseason, you and I kept talking about, the growth and the development of this room and how last season it was the issue. And part of that was probably more than likely because John Butler was very new. He came in at a very abnormal time to be a coach where he has to learn a whole new scheme, learn a whole new room, and et cetera, et cetera.
Came away late.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't get here till a month before the season.
And then he had then he came in and he said he wanted to learn the 3-3-5 before he even started coaching his players, before he even started talking to them. So he had to come in and learn that and then marry the language and then coach. Yeah.
Yeah. You're seeing what a year true, that's why they say there's always a jump into systems because you get familiar with your room, you get familiar with your play calls, et cetera, et cetera. Now you're seeing it right now.
Yep. 100%. Looking over at run defense. So we got Rex Guthrie as our best run defender safety wise, 75.6. So Andrew Marshall, 71.8. And then we got Linhart on the edge, 71.8. So, the problem right now, your Elijah Judy's, your Willis McGahee's, your Ochoa's, they're not really performing really well in the run defense department, to put it lightly.
Rex Guthrie's going to be an absolute dude.
Monster.
In a year or two, I think.
Monster.
I think his film before his injury in high school was insane.
Mm-hmm.
And people forgot about that. And maybe it's because he was this kid from Littleton, Colorado, or some smaller area in Colorado where it's under recruited because the local schools don't recruit their own state. Yep. But I remember looking at his film and you see him all over the field in multiple positions: kick returner, punt returner, wide receiver, defensive back, safety. He's playing in the box. And it should surprise absolutely nobody that as a redshirt freshman, he's starting to make an impact.
Yep. Yeah, he's going to be a absolute star. The biggest thing too is the secondary's tackling well. Let's give me
look at that PFF score. That's incredible.
Give me a secondary that can tackle all day, because that's what saved. You remember, hey, Nate Gary. Let's be honest. Nate Gary made his living due to everybody in front of him being terrible and him just making tackles on the back end.
Yeah,
that man made an NFL career, or made it to the NFL just because he was back there as a safety valve, tackling everybody who stepped into that third level. So
look at this. I mean, across the board. I mean,
you cut out again. I'm gonna need you to repeat all these numbers.
On 77.
Brian, I need you to repeat all that because you're cutting out still. I need you to fix your internet is what I need you to do. All right, we'll see when we get Brian back. Brian's frozen in time. Pass rush. Top pass rushers right now. Gabe Moore, Vincent Shavers, Malcolm Hartzog. Gabe Moore, 73.3. Shavers, 69.8. Hartzog, 69.8 as well. Talked about it earlier. 20 total pressures, 2 sacks, 15 hurries in 2 games. So, again, it's not dominance, but it's a steady disruption. You need to fix that internet.
Yeah, I need to move my router upstairs. It is what it is for now.
It's rough. It's rough. Tackling right now, 77 tackles, 22 stops, 12 missed tackles. So that puts us at about that 13%. Again, way better than last year's. Special teams wise, coverage units, we got Riley Van Poppel, 93.4, Caleb Benning, 81.7, Prescott, 77.7. So special teams coverage, strength right now. Not giving up hidden yards. And I think that's where a lot of the special teams gets, put to the side because 5-10 extra yards on each kick return, each punt return over the course of the game, especially against really, really high level teams where you're going to be in 3-point games where every little bit matters. Those hidden yards do come. They come up big time. So it is good. Riley Van Poppel just doing his thing, 93.4, killing on special teams. Caleb Benning, of course he's going to be one of those grinders just because of who he is, He's got the last name Benning, Returns, Ja'Cory Barney, punt return grade of 66.5. So a 39 is as long. And I'm telling you, it's nice to be able to see somebody who slaps the dirt because he was like, dang, I was one little step away from breaking that for a touchdown. That's what happened last week. It was nice to see that for a change.
One thing that I am a little concerned about is we've had 2 weeks in a row where the kickoff has gone out of bounds.
Yeah.
That's a little frustrating for me.
Yeah, it is. Because, again, that's 10 yards. You add on to them.
Well, you get the ball to 35, so it's
10 yards.
plus 10 technically.
Yep. Yeah, that's got to stop because that right there is something that's inexcusable. Because you see holds a lot, you see false starts a lot, but that is one of those things that, if you're in the NFL, that will keep you from the NFL. That will ruin your ability to go to the NFL if you consistently kick balls out of bounds. It's a big deal. Returns
too, is, Kyle Cunanan is not the one that's been kicking them out of bounds. In fact, both times that's happened, they've pulled the kicker and put in Kyle Cunanan. And it doesn't seem like a Bush on his talks about there's a reason why typically the kickoff specialist is not your field goal kicker. And it's because to do that is exhausting on your leg. Mm-hmm. Where if you got a big kick in the fourth quarter from 53, 54 yards and you've been kicking off all game, your leg's going to be tired. It's going to be sober.
Yeah. Because then not only that, you warm up before the game, and then before you go out there every time to kick a field goal, you put in your kicks in the net, and then however many kicks you get, before they ice you, you may boot it out there. So you
kicked it 50, 60 times by then.
That is a good, very good point because I don't think people understand that concept and just that it is taxing to go out there and kick a ball that far.
Yeah.
But kicking wise, again, long of 50 plus, which is nice. 11-11 on extra points, 75.9 grade. I can't be upset with the field goals, just the mixed, John Hull struggling right now on those kickoffs.
I think was it Alvano that kicked it out last week?
I believe so.
I remember.
It was
but even then, I mean,
it was. I think it was Holden Alvano. I think it was Holden Alvano. Yeah. Archie Wilson, 41-yard long right now, 36.8 net, 73.7 grade, but he really has been kind of pinning them deep. Really hasn't had to boot it per se. Mm-hmm. So distance-wise, take that with a grain of salt just because, again, he's been pinning them inside the 20, which is really what the biggest part of it is. When he needs to boot it, he will.
Yeah, I think it was during our interview with Coach Bush where he was like, I don't really look if I'm grading a punter, I don't look at the net because there's so many other factors that can go into that. Like if your coverage unit gives up a 50-yard touchdown on a punt return,
penalties,
but your punter gets knocked, or
penalties. Yeah. Those are the biggest ones that throw it off. So I think like overall, just looking through, I think the biggest thing is like, we see Raio's growth. Of course, we don't even need to talk about that. Wide receivers making plays. Separation's crazy. Improved pass protection. We need to get the run blocking improved before Big Ten play. That Michigan game is going to be a big showing of what I think, we're going to be able to do in the run blocking game, because by that point, week 4, we need to have it somewhat situated, and we need to look like a Big Ten offensive line in the run department.
They can't do the air raid in this conference.
No. Defensively, corners, I would say corners, we're feeling great about them. Corners are high level coverage, outstanding. Run defense inconsistent. D-line interior grades, we knew that would be the potential struggle coming in. We'll see how much they grow over the course of the year. Do expect them to grow again, but we'll see how much they grow over the course of the season. That will be the biggest test of where this team ends up. And then right now, the special teams, of course, reliable in the field goal department, good in the return game, good in the coverage game. Kickoffs need some work. So like the way I see this team kind of through 2 weeks, it's a team with so where I'm looking
some deficiencies.
Well, but the thing about it is it's a team that's close enough to where they can back in college football playoff berth and be in that conversation. It's not a championship team yet by any stretch, but as a team that can backdoor, and I still think 9 to 10 wins. I still like my predictions just as much as I did before. But yeah, I think if we would have if week 2 we would come out and said all that, okay, what are our issues? Interior D line. I think we would have taken that, because before the season, interior D line and secondary. And again, secondary wasn't an issue. We made sure to be, cognizant, like to say it's not due to a lack of talent, it's experience. So we don't know fully what we have in the depth there. But like Rule said, he expects this defensive interior D line to grow as the season goes along. How much, we'll see. But I just, that I can't wait till Michigan. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, I think they're still sorting out the linebacker room too, if I'm being honest with you. Mm-hmm. I think Marquise Watson-Trent is a good linebacker. I think Vincent Shavers is just a lot better.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to start, probably by Michigan. I think you'll probably be starting Vincent Shavers Jr. over Marquise Watson-Trent. Yep. And even then too, I don't overly worry about who's like, they could keep Marquise. The numbers, Vincent Shavers is playing more snaps. And so he is essentially the starter by snap count.
Yeah, he's the more versatile of the two, too. So.
Yeah, and his pass coverage abilities, I didn't think it would be a weakness, but I did not think it would be as much of a strength as it appears to be through 2 weeks.
Who's?
Vincent Shavers. I think he had one big catch he gave up last week, but other than that, I think he's playing very well in pass coverage.
Yeah, the thing about Marquez Watson-Trent, he was always a run-stopping type of player. So
yeah, and he's 5'10", 225 pounds.
Yeah, that downhill run-stopping type of player. It's how he was at his previous school too. So, it's packaged situationally, but yeah, it's Shavers. Think of Shavers as a senior. Get excited about that.
Oh man, there is a lot of Levante in his game. That's for sure.
A lot. It's the flying around. That's what you.
Yeah.
Because remember Levante, they called him like the eraser, because he played so fast and he just laid such hard hits. You remember that first game, I think it was, where he just drilled that dude on the sideline. Just crushed him, dude.
Compton was telling a funny story. I think when they interviewed him, they're like, Levante didn't know the playbook. They just basically said, get in there and just see ball, get ball, find ball. Like
that was Shavers last year. That was basically Vincent Shavers last year. It's like, go get the ball, dude. Like Matt Rule told us before the season, he's like, he's going to make mistakes because he plays fast. but he's also going to screw up and make it. He's going to end up in the right place sometimes too.
Yeah.
So like you got to take what you get with a player like him because he's going to make more plays than he gives up, and he did.
Yeah. And as he puts it together, it'll start to slow down a little bit.
Yep. And as the season went along, you saw it slow down. He got more snaps, and then this season's just been taken off. So, all right. Well, we didn't get any more calls. We will leave it open just in case, just for a minute, in case we get any more calls. So, Brian, what you got going on tomorrow, man, for the game?
I'm not going to be able to watch the game, unfortunately.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Brian's not going to be able to watch the game, dude. That's tough. That's tough.
It's all right. It's like I usually will not ever miss a game, but
yeah,
I'm not tripping about missing this one because it's Houston Christian. Like
for sure.
We're gonna beat them by 50.
Yeah. Yeah, we are. So, but I will be here with the post game. Brian will not. I will be solo in this post game.
What time is the game anyways? Is it an 11 a.m. game?
I believe so. My wife keeps calling me. She must have forgot about my show.
I might be able to just catch the tail end of it. Let me see what time the game is at. It's 11, so the game will be over by, what, 3?
Yep.
3:30. I might be able to join you for the post game and just give you my absolutely no idea what happened opinions.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll carry you through it. You can just hop on.
I'll join the show. You can be like, they beat us by 14, and I'll freak out.
Yeah, you could just spectate. I'll just be here, just talking up for us both. So, but all right, everybody tune in tomorrow as soon as the clock hits 0. As soon as the clock hits 0, we are going to go live. We hit live when that clock goes 0, whatever that is, 00. I go to my mouse and I'm like, go live. So be here. Be here to celebrate, bring it all home with us, and celebrate a win, and celebrate covering, what, 42.5 do you think we cover? What's your final prediction?
Gosh, why not, right? I mean, they doubled the spread last week. Let's do it.
62-0.
Yeah, I would say it's a big blow.
62-0. Brian's face is frozen.
Another.
We got it. We got you back, I think. No, we lost you again.
I'm here.
Okay, there you are. Remember 11 p.m. kickoff when we played Hawaii in 82? We trailed 13-0. Good thing is I'm in Arizona, so I'm 2 hours ahead. But morning kicks get real ugly. It's at like 9 a.m. for me. So
at Hawaii at 11 p.m. is totally different, though.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do us for us here. Again, tune in next week. Nebraska 63, HCU 3. I like it, Husker Chuck. But we need that shutout. All right, that'll do us for us here. Again, tune in tomorrow. We are going to bring home the post game with you live. Houston Christian, we are going to dominate them tomorrow. So y'all get ready to come party it up here with us at the end of the post game show. We'll be here bringing it all home. And then next Tuesday, again, per usual, we have our live stream. And every Friday at 5 p.m., 7 p.m. Central, we have our Husker Gutter call-in show just like we're doing tonight. So y'all stay tuned for all that. And Brian, anything else before we head out?
No, I'm going to fix my router tomorrow.
There's a video on the channel of with Mark Rogers and Adam Carricker talking about the season up until this point. So when y'all get off here, if y'all want to go check that out, interview with Adam Carricker on the channel, and then also our interview with oh my gosh, Michael Rose-Ivy. So yeah, so we will if y'all want to check those out, those are on the channel as well. But other than that, we will see y'all tomorrow. So be sure y'all show up really drunk and really happy. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be sober. Brian, you can show up drunk since you're not really participating. Oh, you'll be working, so you can't even do that.
I'll be driving home by the time the game's over.
You should just quit.
I'm debating it already, dude.
It's like week 1. All right, guys. Well, years. Yeah, day 1. See you later, guys. All right, that'll do us for here again. We'll see y'all tomorrow after the game. Peace.